Yeah, I was wondering, it was usually I see people early and I didn't, and I thought that was strange. And then it was 8:03 and nobody was in, and I had a look at the email and it was for a noon class. Nobody was in our noon class yet. So we're gonna squat to warm up. Nice and slow on the way down, a little hold at the bottom. I'll check the clock here right away and see what we have for time. All righty, the fastest 23-minute workout of all time. Nice and slow on the way down, letting those joints warm up. Let's take those feet double width apart, and we're going to slide into a side lunge. So you're going to slide to side number one, shoulder, hip, knee, all end up over top of that foot. We'll stand up, squeeze the glutes, so squeeze your bum cheeks together as you drive your hips forward, and then we're going to head to the other side. Squeeze, down, and squeeze, and squeeze. Couple more, make sure we're even. We'll go to side number one, side number two, and then we're gonna bring those feet together. We'll go back to that Zercher squat. So we're gonna plant one heel, straight leg. This back leg is bent, so if I switch feet, my right leg over here is straight. This leg is bent, and we're gonna slide down, keeping that back straight. This is a posture we wanna get a hold of now. We're gonna use later on when we hinge. We've got some deadlifts or some kettlebell swings. So as we're warming up, you're gonna want to think about, can we find a little bit of weight? It could be your water bottle. It could be a gym bag with some gear in it. Nothing that's gonna hurt anybody. Let's switch sides. If you have a little bit of exercise equipment, a dumbbell will work. I'll show you how that works. A kettlebell works great. Let's do one more on the second side. Good. Finish off with one more. We're going to step into that big lunge position. Back up here. Step back. We look for a big lunge position here. Again, our hands could be elevated somehow. This could be a yoga block. I'm using a kettlebell. Got to get back into frame. We could be here on the yoga block or a kettlebell, and we're going to rotate up the best we can. Back down. Rotate. Hold and breathe. Hold for number 3, and let's switch sides. So we want a nice long lunge position as much as we can handle. We're getting this back hip flexor stretched out. And then we're adding a little thoracic rotation. All those vertebrae behind your chest. We want lots of rotation in those so we can help it out with this guy. Number 3, reaching up, pulling that chest open towards the, so everything is squared to the wall beside you. And that's through. Awesome. So today we're going to do a 4 exercise superset, and we're going to bang through those again. So we want the exercise itself to drive the heart rate up. And so we're going to move slowly and deliberately. If you're doing kettlebell swings, we'll move a little faster than normal. And everything else, we're just going to keep moving deliberately through the set, and we'll take a break at the end. So what we're looking at is with a kettlebell. If you know what a kettlebell swing is, you can use your kettlebell if you have one. If you have a dumbbell or some other type of weight, we just want to make it as long as we can. So we're going to grab the head. And the first option is a deadlift. We're looking to stay nice and straight. This is step 1, stage 1. We want to have this in the bag We want to master this movement before we move on to a swing. If we do not have a great deadlift, we do not want to try swinging that weight. We're going to 10. Again, as I always say, I do not count reps for my clients. I can't count them for myself, obviously. And get rid of that dumbbell, show you a kettlebell swing. So tuck that weight up under your bum and squeeze those glutes as we come up. We're just coming up to eyeball height. We won't do an American swing overhead. I can't anyway with the space I have, but we'll keep that kettlebell at eyeball height, squeezing those glutes. So we're going to 10 with that first exercise. After that, we're on the floor for a push-up. If we need to, we can raise our hands. See, the little secret about push-ups, we want to stay as long as possible. So we're going to get down on the floor as I'm talking here. We want to stay as long as possible. So if you have a bench or a chair you can use, you're better off being up on your toes. I've got the squat rack here set up so I can be high with my hands and get that push up in. And we're going to 10. If you don't have an option to find something high to raise your hands, then we can be on our knees. But again, if we have that long lever from our toes to our hands, it's a lot tougher to maintain stability than it is if we shorten that lever and go down onto our knees. So that's a little secret for you there, where we can get make that push up a little more taxing, but still make it doable by lifting up those hands. We're on our way to 10 there. After that, hopefully you do have some kind of weight. If you don't, I'll show you the version without. But we're going to do a row from a lunge position. I'm going to grab just a little bit heavier dumbbell. We're going to find a nice long lunge position, and then we're going to hinge forward a little bit from that. So I've got my chest down towards my toes. I've got my back straight, and we're going to pull that weight down by the hip. Elbow stays down. Don't let that shoulder rise up. We're not trying to shrug. We're trying to keep our scapula down and back. Scapula is your shoulder blade. And we're going to pull. This hand in the back just dangles free. And we're going to hold at the top for a second. Get that squeeze. And then we're going to slowly drop that weight. And this time under tension is what's going to raise our heart rate and give us a little bit of muscle endurance as well. And we're on our way to 10. When we're done 10, we'll switch to the other side. You don't need to turn around. I'm going to turn around for the camera. So we're in that lunge position, no weight. I'm just going to dangle that arm. I'm going to bring that elbow back down by the hip, and I'm going to squeeze that lat. So I can make that lat squeeze without any weight. We're here, squeeze, bring that shoulder blade down and into the spine. Those shoulder blades we want to have good movement there. They slide across our back. They open up. Shoulder blade is down here, corner of that shoulder blade, and we're going to pull that into the spine now. Let it relax, a little protraction, and then down and into the spine, some retraction. Not that you guys need those anatomical terms, do you? And squeeze. And we can build a little bit of muscle mass and a little bit of strength without any weight as well, just by holding that contraction. So we're going to 10 there. Our final exercise of the superset. Just trying to make some space so you guys can see the side view. We're going to lie down. And we are looking for a heel drop. We're going to start with level 1, and we're going to work our way up. Level 1 is to get those knees bent. Glue that lower back to the ground. Most important thing. That's what tells us if we can move on to the next level. From here, we're going to keep that knee bent, and we're going to drop those heels. Side number 1 and side number 2. If you drop both feet at the same time, it is much harder. Approximately twice as hard. Anybody's good at math? And we're dropping there. Level 2 is to straighten out those legs and drop from there. And we can have those knees bent as much as we need to. Anywhere in between, straight legs and 90 degrees. That's level 2. Level 3, we're going to add a full heel drop with 2 legs. Bring them back up. Pulling that belly button down and in. And we're on our way to 10 there. If you're doing a single side, we can do anywhere from 5 to 10 on each side. We want to challenge ourselves. And then we're on to set number 2. I'm going to grab a quick hit of water. This is where you get your rest. Grab a quick drink. And then we're back on. We want to try and keep the rate of work high. Consistent, not high. Sorry, we don't need to move really fast. We're just looking for constant rate of work. And we're back at it. Remember, we want that back flat if we're doing a Romanian deadlift or an RDL. So this deadlift, we keep our hips a lot higher than normal. We aren't squatting. So if I had a chair behind my bum, I would not be dropping my bum to that chair. We're sliding our bum back towards the wall behind us. Or if that chair was behind me, I'd be sliding my bum to the back of the chair instead of to the seat. Slight knee bend at the bottom. And shoulder blades are back and down again. We don't want those shoulders shrugged. We don't want to let that shoulder out of the socket. So we do something called packing the shoulder. Bring that shoulder back into the joint and the shoulder blades back and down. And we want to make sure that the weight doesn't affect those shoulders. It doesn't matter what weight you're doing. We want to be able to hold that position. If you can't, your weight's a little too heavy and we'll back up. And we're on our way to 10. I think I've done about 3. We'll call that a set. And back to our push-ups. Trying to stay nice and long. Now, because I'm so high with my hands here, I'm going to be up on the balls of my feet. And we're going to drop, looking to stay nice and long. How far apart your hands are will dictate how much chest you use as opposed to tricep. We want our hands to roughly fall just below our shoulders. So in that push-up position, if you can see me on the screen, when I drop, if this is the view for me from below, I want to be about here. We don't want to be way up here. Those shoulders shrugged. Like I said today, we want to keep those shoulders down. We're going to do our push-up there. And again, if we get too low on our body as well, we're going to find that very tricep heavy, which is okay. Just be aware of it though. If you find your triceps are really burning, we want to be in that kind of power zone, we call that. And that's right in front of our chest. Couple more there, nice and slow. This is another one where we can go down nice and slow, hold at the bottom, keeping my chest off this bar, and push hard. Bring it back up. Create quite a high heart rate that way and helps out our strength. We're going to move on to those lunges in a, we're going to move on to those rows in a lunge position. Thought I was having a stroke there. We're going to hold this lunge position. Grab that barbell, dumbbell in my case, and pull. Like I said, we can do this without weight. A gym bag with a little bit of weight in it is good, as long as it's not swinging around too much, and that helps. If we go slow, deliberate movements, keeps that swing down. We'll squeeze at the top, whether you got weight or no weight. We squeeze at the top. You'll really feel that lat. You're going to think about bringing the bottom angle of your shoulder blade into your spine. So that bottom corner of your shoulder blade. Our shoulder blade's like a triangle. The top border is flat, and then it comes down to a point at the bottom, pointing down towards your butt cheek. We want to bring that point to our spine. Side number 2, pull, squeeze, and release. Hopefully I'm not too fast for you guys. Squeeze. The last movement is going to be that heel drop. Lots of variations there to find where your ability level's at. We can bend those knees, drop a single leg. Lots of fancy little things we can throw into this. We can bring our both legs out, we can bring our knees in for a reverse crunch. Add a little bit of variety to that if you can do both legs. And remember, level 1, keeping that leg at 90 degrees, dropping that heel fairly close to our bum. Our knee angle doesn't change as we drop here. Trying to keep that knee at a fixed angle. Dropping there, keeping that lower back glued down. Option number 2 is to straighten out those legs as much as you can handle, worrying about that lower back staying glued to the floor. Belly button pulled down and into the body. And we're on our way to 10 to 20 of these, 5 to 10 a side. If you're doing double legs, you probably do not want to do 20. If you have that strength, then by all means, go for it. Quick sip of water when we're done. We're finishing up set number 2. We're moving on to set number 3. And we're back to our deadlifts. Quick a transition as we can handle. If you're a little more hydrated than me, maybe you don't need as much water this morning. I started drinking water late. Something we want to make sure we have in our system before you start in the morning. Make sure you've had at least a couple cups of water. Hydration is so important. If we're dehydrated, that blood gets a little thick. We want to get that water in us before we exercise and during. The deadlifts, kettlebell swings, again, we're still looking for that nice flat back. If you got that swing going, you'll find that raises your heart rate a bit more, which is great. Looking for 10 reps there. Moving on to our push-ups. Slow on the way down. Hold and push. As well, if you're on the floor for those push-ups, if you can do a push-up on your toes, on your hands, on the floor, if you can slowly bring yourself down and then put your knees down to push back up, that's okay as well. When those knees come down, let's push hard to bring yourself up, maintaining your posture. And then when you come down, slow back on those toes. When you come down, we want to be slow on those toes. Another way to build a lot of strength and get to those toes and hands push-ups. I didn't even demo one on the floor today. A little lazy. Probably past that point. I'll keep going. Lunge position row. I'm going to grab that weight. I'm going to grab just a little bit heavier kettlebell this time. Pull and squeeze and release. Slow release. Pull, squeeze, and release. I'm working on keeping that posture nice and tall. From the back heel to the top of my head, I'm as straight as possible. We don't want to get rounded out here with that spine. We want to be long. Doesn't matter so much if this back leg is long, but if it is, we can fire up that glute and make this a full body exercise. We're already working that front leg. It's the one holding us up. You might have felt that. But we can push through that back leg and get that squeeze in the back of the leg as well. So this guy here, as we're pulling here, we get a lot more work done, more muscle groups involved in a simple row, which is definitely good. Switch sides and we're ready. 10 on each side. You might hold for just a little longer if you have a light weight or you don't have any weight at all. We might hold that squeeze a little longer and that's okay. And build up the fatigue in that muscle, especially that lat, which is on our back. We're going, we're on our way to 10. Keep pulling through there. We got heel drops one last time. My clock stopped. There we go. Nice work, guys. We're about 19 minutes in of our 23-minute workout today. We keep moving. Do some stability after this. So once we're done our heel drops, quick drink of water. Remember, keeping that lower back glued to the floor, very important. We got a couple in here. And we're on our way up to 10 a side or 10 total, depending on what we're working on there. After that, quick hit of water. All right, our next next little superset, we've got 2 exercises in it. We're gonna do a side plank, a little different version than we did on Thursday if you were here, and a glute bridge or a tabletop. We wanna fire up those glutes. So tabletop, tougher, version number 1. This is level 2, definitely. Feet are flat, hands are directly below my shoulders. I'm gonna push through those glutes and drive those hips up. I'm gonna get a stretch to the shoulders. So we wanna come up nice and slow, time number 1, and then back down. The goal is to get those hips as high as the shoulders and the knees to make a nice flat tabletop. If that's not an option for those shoulders, we're going flat. Ankles are directly below the knees, and we're gonna drive through those glutes, squeeze those glutes, hold at the top, keep those knees from splaying out or falling in, and back down. And we've got 10 of those. If that's easy, but we don't want to do the tabletop, we can go to a single leg, bring one leg up, drive through that glute on the bottom and back down. Make sure those hips come in line. We want shoulders, hips, and knees in a nice straight line. If you're doing double legs and you're done, let's keep going while I talk here. And we want to get those hips up in line. I don't know if I have the strength to do single leg today. So we want to see shoulders, hips, knees. Hips are pulled up towards our chin, makes our tummy nice and flat, engages those glutes that much more. And then onto a side plank. Remember, we scissor our feet here. So I'm on my right arm. That means my right foot is the back foot. I heel toe my feet, making my left foot the front foot. And I'm going to lift, hold, and release. Trying to lift up that whole bottom side, hit that right hip off the ground because I'm on my right side. This is my left side, up to the sky and down and lift and hold. Shoulders are squared to the wall in front of me and down. Don't let yourself roll forward. We want to be here. Get that shoulder in a fixed position. We'll keep going to 10 here. Make sure this elbow is inside this shoulder, meaning we don't want it up here. Not a great place for that shoulder to be. Let's get that elbow directly below the shoulder. Let's tuck that shoulder down here. We don't want to be shrugging again. And up and hold. We're on our way to 10. When you're done 10, we're switching sides. Keep grinding through. If you have the time today, we're going to finish probably 2 sets of this would be good for stability, some different stuff. If you have the time for 3, that'd be awesome. And I've noticed Dwayne gives you guys a stretch after. I'm always so pressed for time. We don't get that in. Make sure you're stretching today as well. Make it part of your before bed routine, part of your sleep hygiene, help you relax, help you sleep better. If you do have some time today before you hit the shower and head to work, you can do it then as well. We want to hit some of those sore muscles. If you find you're sore from these workouts, we want to hit those muscles a little bit with some stretching. If you need some help with that, you can always let us know. Computer, camera. Right. Thanks, everybody. I think it's all ladies today, I think. Okay.